All right, thanks to Maps for the AM News. You'll be seeing her every morning. She'll bring us the AM News. Welcome now to the news review segment. And I want to say thank you to House of Kings for my shirt. All the beautiful shirts that I wear on the show is courtesy House of Kings. Kindly give them a call and let them even deliver to you if you're in Accra. You can find them. They are the UPSA, East Legon, Hatcho, Westlands, also in Achimota. So if they've got locations really, really close to you, give them a call. Let me welcome Joseph Akablay to the review segment of our show. Quite a number of things happening. There's the NSMQ, Prempeh College, St. Thomas Aquinas, and Asante Mine. Do you have a favorite there?
Wow, I love Prempeh, but Aquinas guys are very good. And Asante Mine, per what Maxwell tells me, seem to be quite a strong team as well. And so this is one of those contests that ordinarily you expect it to be either in the semis or in the final proper, but unfortunately we have to deal with it now, and so you will not have a major school in the final. And so let's look forward to what happens. To be live on JoyNews at 11:30.
Yes, it will be. Yes. Exactly. Well, another thing is the Daddy Lumba Challenge. You know, today's Daddy Lumba's birthday.
Oh, really?
We thought we'll use the opportunity as we wish him a happy birthday to also find out people's favorite and to figure out if they can sing. You definitely must have a favorite.
Yeah, I know Sirikwa, I like that song.
Yeah.
That's
all.
Yeah, that's the main.
No,
there's some other song in the early 2000s. It's very profane. I used to like the song. Yeah, I'm sure Eko remembers the song.
But you can do something like so we can remember.
Well, no, I don't want to sing.
I'm not asking you to sing. Just do something so that they can get what you're saying and they can play the song.
No, you speak to Eko knows the song. Yeah, he did it with this rapper. It's very Charlie.
What are you saying?
Let's continue. But that Lumba, I mean, happy birthday to him. He's an amazing musician. I mean, the voice on the music, Charlie, hit songs. He's the father of hit songs. Like, you know, he just springs out of nowhere and a hit song comes.
So we'll come back before we leave.
Song, your favorite? They can't hear you.
We're gonna. I'm still trying to rehearse. Listen, by the time we finish with this show, I should be able to sing that tune. But there's a situation also happening in the Volta region on a very serious note. Overnight, we're told that a group alleged to be part of the Western Togoland movement attacked the STC yard in Ho. This is overnight, Monday night. Persons believed to be members of the Western Togoland movement. Drivers beaten, one vehicle bent. We're following up on that story for you. When we have a lot more to share, we will bring that to you here on our show. Well, let's jump into the newspapers. I've got the Graphic, the Finder, the Daily Dispatch. Joseph?
I have the Ghanaian Times, the Daily Guide, and the BNFT, and I'll start from the Ghanaian Times front page. There's a story about the separatist group. We are told that the police have retrieved ammunition and 2 vehicles from them. We also know from the inside that the court has remanded 31 suspected separatists to. We'll give you that detail shortly, but we'll deliver credible voters register in readiness for December 2020 post. The EC assures President commissions $95 million Kumasi recycling plant expected to be the biggest in Africa. And Kennedy Japan absent from court due to COVID-19 complications. That is according to his lawyers. The back page has this story about assembly members advocating electoral area common fund, and SEBA urges Parliament to pass a rent bill into law. And so let me just take you to page 3 briefly. First, I know you are interested in this story. Let's start with the Kennedy Japan story. His lawyers, led by Kwame Jan, have informed the court that he was supposed to come yesterday, and the business of the day was they were supposed to defend the video which was played on Friday.
Okay.
I.e., justify why that video does not amount to contempt of court. And Mr. Japan did not show up. We are told that he had COVID-19 last month and he's suffering from post-COVID-19 complications. And so he couldn't show up. And I've seen on social media, people are saying a lot of things. And people have shared, you know, there's this old story, you know, this is with you, so we are bringing everything into
Yes.
There's this old story they've shared of Mr. Japan speaking about Obinim when the court issued a warrant for his arrest, where he said that you cannot fake sickness for so long. And people are sharing that video. I'm not sure of what the correlation is, but what are your own thoughts on this development?
Oh, you're the correspondent. You give us the inside stories. You're asking me for my thoughts.
Yes, I mean, this is the story. The story has been
No, I think that big ups to the judge, really. Absolutely respect him. What's his name again?
Justice Amos Wuntawuni.
Okay, because he didn't just leave it there. He's asked for the medical personnel who attended to Mr. Japon to come into court. When's the next sitting?
That's on Thursday morning.
On Thursday morning. So this is a very thorough judge. I mean, so I guess the speculations can be left there. People are having fun with it on social media. I really hope that you don't make a comment that directly links to what's happening in court. But we'll see how it plays out. I like the judge because, you know, he's letting everything play out according to law. And I like his processes.
Okay.
Yeah,
and the other interesting point, I mean, worth stating is the fact that, you know, he had filed various applications, one at the Supreme Court that was due on October 12th. And they are asking for 14 days break, as in he should stay away from the court for 14 days. And so after 14 days, that will take us around that October 12th date when you're supposed to actually go to the Supreme Court.
By which time the Supreme Court may have acted on that application.
May have acted on that application. So those are facts that, I mean,
and their decision, because it's a higher court, would have implications on what's happening, or could.
Yes, or could allow what is happening to go on as well. But we'll know everything on Thursday when the doctor comes and speaks. But the other story about the suspected separatists, 31 of them, they've been charged with routing with offensive weapons. There's a charge also about conspiracy to participate in a campaign of a prohibited organization, that is the Western Togoland group, as they are described per the charge sheet that was filed. And yesterday we heard from their lawyer speak to Evans Mensah on PMS Press. He says his clients know nothing about it. He says one of them is actually a bus conductor who was in the bus. They were stranded, and the driver asked him to get down and check what is happening ahead. But I mean, this is still.
You also said there's also a Nigerian. There were people who were innocently traveling.
Yeah, he also talked about a farmer. He says a farmer who had his cutlass who was going to the farm was also picked up as part of
somebody in the bathroom when they were picked up as well. So we're hearing different backgrounds to this. The fact that they've been picked up, the fact that they've been remanded, really doesn't mean that they're guilty.
Yeah,
that's the other thing. And we've seen a lot of people having been picked up in the past, either related to this same conversation or other matters. You see beautiful charges if only they can prove. That's the thing. Just carrying them, taking photographs of them, bringing them in the newspapers and saying that you've charged them doesn't amount to anything unless you're able to prove the charges in court and they are convicted for it. So we wait to see. I'm not going to say that I'm excited about this development because this doesn't really mean anything.
Very early. Yeah. And the other update is that the police have retrieved ammunition and 2 vehicles from the group. These are 2 vehicles seized by members of the Western Togoland last Friday. The vehicles included a Toyota Land Cruiser vehicle with registration number, it stated, a GP195 belonging to the Ghana Police Service, and the Toyota Hilux vehicle as well. These were items or cars and other ammunition they took over from the Japon, a town in Northern district of the Volta region. And so that is the latest by way of the efforts of this by the state to take custody of various items that could be used to engage in further crime. So that has been seized as well. We'll deliver credible voter register is coming from the Electoral Commission there. You can find details of that story, the center spread of the Ghanaian Times on Mavi.
Well, just to say that related to this matter of the 31 who were in court yesterday is this issue about the overnight attack at the whole STC yard with a bus alleged to have been Benz drivers beating. We will bring you a lot more details, particularly what officials are also saying, whether they are confirming this incident or not. As and when we do have that, we'll bring that to you. Let's do the Daily Graphic newspaper. Front page of the Graphic. President commissions $95 million recycling plants, create 2,300 jobs. Heart disease patients shy away from cardio center, according to Dr. Sribo. Would share a bit of the details with you. It's World Heart Day today. The story is certainly very important. EC restores majority of missing names on register. In the center spread, let's remain united and fight against secessionists, according to Professor Kwating. Professor Kwating is a professor of history at the Cape Coast University. I think, yes, he's still there. RTI to step up request for information will name, shame, non-compliance. So the Coalition of the Right to Information is to set up its request for information to monitor institutions that are complying with the Right to Information Act, Act 989. It said the exercise would identify and commend institutions that were complying with the law and shame those that were doing otherwise. Also, SHRAJ, and this is also in the center spread, SHRAJ builds capacity of religious opinion leaders for COVID-19. On the back page, court remands 31 alleged secessionists. Water shortage hits Sekondi Takoradi again. It says Sekondi Takoradi adjoining districts and municipalities in the Western region are experiencing erratic water supply due to growing demand and limited rainfall this year. The situation has resulted in low inflow of raw water into river bodies, particularly the Pra River, where the Ghana Water Company Limited harvests water for processing and distribution to the Sekondi Takoradi metropolis and the Wasa East District. Very detailed story there, put together by my friend Efo Duche Kobla Akloboto in Sekondi Takoradi. This story about hearts, the executive director of the National Cardiothoracic Center, Dr. Lawrence Ajimai Sribo, says the coronavirus disease has triggered patients' reluctance to use the facility for fear of contracting the virus. He said the development had caused some patients to lose their lives. Dr. Sribo made this known when a company donated personal protective equipment to the center last Friday. We did have our own conversation here on the show yesterday because Casa Precos Awake is supporting the Cardiothoracic Center, and every year on World Heart Day they have a project where they share about the importance of the heart and also make a donation. This year they are making a donation of 150,000. Linda said to us on the show yesterday, to the National Cardiothoracic Center, and we learned about how children especially need this support because most of them report with a hole in heart. Sure, you've heard about hole in heart and people make an appeal every now and then. So they need a lot of support, the Cardiothoracic Center. One other discovery from my conversation yesterday, Joseph, is about the fact that we will begin to see, I think there is a trend already, people who have suffered from COVID-19 will potentially get heart diseases sometime in the future. So there's a link there. We'll be expanding on this conversation in the coming days.
Very important. I mean, it's very early days. It's a disease that the world generally is not familiar with, and in various countries we are hearing of people who have recovered and months on they have very strange symptoms. And so, I mean, it's important that our health experts continue to keep an eye on the situation in the country, especially those who have even recovered, just to try and understand the disease, especially because its impact in this country is quite different. You are not having a lot of people dying, a lot of people getting infected as we see it in the past, a lot of people getting sick. But it still means that now that our borders are actually open, there could be the possibility of having new strains come in. And so it's important that the research community pays attention to what happens post COVID-19 and even post recovery, those who have been able to recover from it, just to ensure that we're able to deal with some of these lifelong situations that will come as a result of the disease.
Impotence too.
Yes, impotence. Yes, someone was telling me about that yesterday in the newsroom.
Yeah, and of course, I mean, in a society like ours, you won't hear a lot, as if people will keep this to themselves, obviously because of how society would tend to look at them if they came out to share. But people are suffering effects of COVID-19, even though we're joking with it now, and it's almost as if we are free because we are not recording many cases. But around the globe, check this out, nearly 1 million people across the world have died since the start of the coronavirus pandemic, and new outbreaks are continuing to crop up. The World Health Organization has warned that a doubling of that number is certainly unimaginable, but it's not impossible if countries don't work together to suppress the virus spread. In the US, India and Brazil, they account for more than half of all global cases. And the pandemic in these countries, we're told, shows no sign of slowing down. Let's do the final front page. Bank of Ghana eyes economic recovery of up to 2.5%. RTI coalition laments sluggish implementation of the law. Political parties, peace-loving Ghanaians must condemn secessionist group. That's a call by the NPP's General Secretary. Ghana's COVID-19 fight receives global applause. Church of Pentecost launches 2020 Agents of Peace campaign. The Church of Pentecost, they lead a lot of national conversations and national issues. Big ups to them on this launch of their 2020 Agents of Peace campaign. They do beautifully. Ashanti Region gets 1,824 projects. Otumfo says Asante will remember Ekufuado's good works on December 7. And here's a story of interest. Redundant staff triumph again over SGS GCNet at Labour Commission. Stories on page 4. And essentially, just let's go back a bit. April 29, 2020, government in a letter served notice of its decision to terminate GCNet's trade nets and transit service contracts effective May 31, 2020. So following this, May 29, 2020, notice was served to staff of GCNet, and the notice to affected staff came into effect from June 1, 2020, with the last day of employment for affected staff on June 30, 2020. Severance payment were to be made on or before that date. By June 30, executive management refused to respect the terms of this engagement, which culminated in a series of discussions between Welfare Association representing staff and executive management representing SGS and GCNet. Following a deadlock in discussions, the matter was jointly referred to the National Labour Commission. So on August 1, 2020, the parties involved ended in arbitration for resolution. An arbitration panel was jointly selected by the parties and the National Labour Commission. The parties selected one arbitrator each from the list of arbitrators, and the NLC selected chairman to constitute the 3-member panel. September 4, 2020, the NLC appointed arbitration panel ruled in favor of affected staff. And you can fast forward that as well to this current one, where the National Labour Commission has thrown out a petition filed by SGS GCNet and their labour consultant, Mr. Austin Game, to review the September 4, 2020 arbitration award to the effect that redundant staff are entitled to and must be paid what the company's HR policy on redundancy has clearly stated. And this is very worrying because they've gone back and forth, back and forth, back and forth. And some of the staff, the Staff Welfare Association, the chairman, Felix Agboreka, for instance, is saying that affected staff are ready and determined to claim what is rightfully due each affected employee. And he's warned that what is happening is undermining the morale of current staff who also are to be laid off by April 2021 and are concerned that they will be subjected to this inhumane treatment and injustice. Just pay them their due.
Let me quickly run through the Daily Guide and the BNFT. The Daily Guide says, Asante Man appreciates you, Otumfo blesses Nana. And also on the front page, Akufo-Addo opens $95 million waste plant in Kumasi. Voter population 70 million is coming from the EC, and NPP wants other parties to condemn voter violence. Mahama Cash reigns at Brekum. I've seen a response from Mr. Mohammed's office. I've actually watched the video, and I mean, it was obvious from the video that it was actually mask he was giving out. I wasn't too sure why people said it was money that he was giving out, but he's been responding to that, saying that it's not money that he was distributing, it's a Mahama branded mask and overall that he shares and encourages people to stick to the COVID-19 protocol. So that is it on the front page of the Daily Guide. The back page has Kotoko hit the ground running tomorrow. Yes, the best team in the world.
Are they planting trees?
They will hit the ground running tomorrow. Okay, we are preparing for. They'll be playing in the CAF competition, and so we are.
Is your chief executive still your chief executive?
Yes, he's still at post. Okay. If anything changes, Oreko will inform us. till that happens, he's still at post.
So now you're allowing him to work?
Yes.
Which is a good thing.
Page 3, the cartoon. Okay. This one says free SHS, 1D, 1F, planting for food. Then this one says 1, Okada, 2, mortuary, 3, Western, something. Okay. You can find details in the daily guide. We will not show you the cartoon. We don't have to always show you the cartoon. Sometimes you have to get a paper. The BNFT, the front page says BOG to provide bullion vans, helicopters for safe transport of cash. You know, a number of bullion vans have been attacked recently, so they are trying to use helicopters now. Yeah,
but where would they land? When I saw the story on my journal yesterday, I was thinking about it. They will land where?
It means that they have to find helipads at the various points.
They have to find.
They will have to find, or they would have to airdrop it. I mean, yeah. So that comes with its own fresh.
So we would drop like, you know, what they do in the action movies.
Yeah.
If they're trying to rescue someone, and they can't land.
More like a ladder of assault. Ladder of assault.
Get somebody. We can do a cartoon on that, can't we?
It's
and get somebody with the bag of the money, dropping, or we'll just release the money.
Yeah.
For it to flow in the air.
Okay, so the BOG governor is quoted as saying that this is about the third or so incident we have heard quite recently. Most of the banks use pickups and convert them into bullion vans. The Bank of Ghana has taken it seriously, so we have held a meeting with the banks to decide a way for it. At least we have quite a fleet of bullion vans, and we are asking them to see how we can collaborate to ensure a more secure way of transferring money to parts of the country. He also goes on to say that he has also met the Air Marshal, and he has offered to assist the bank with lifting currency around the country with some of the aircraft they have. So there's a lot of work going on. So it doesn't address your concern directly, but makes the point that they are discussing with the Air Marshal to assist them. So I'm sure we'll get some final details later on. But the back page says Western North gets ultra-modern solid waste treatment plant on the back page of the Business and Financial Times.
I've got the Daily Dispatch before we do my JoyOnline.com. Battle for Ayawaso West's wagon. Can Dumelo erase NDC's 2016 10,000 vote deficit? If you've been following the Daily Dispatch, you know that they've been concentrating, at least from yesterday, on this constituency, Ayawaso West wagon. Asante Mine will remember your good works on election day, 2-4 to Ekufuado. Ekufuado commissions $95 million recycling plant in Kumasi, and Ghana's first female chief of staff on it. That's how it looks, the front page of the Daily Dispatch newspaper. Joseph, anything you want to highlight before we do my JoyOnline.com?
I think we've dealt with a good number of the major issues. Yeah, and so I think we can do my JoyOnline.com now. Maybe there'll be something of interest there.
Well, the issue about the separatist group attacking the STC burning one bus is on my JoyOnline.com. So let's read the angle here. Another separatist group is reported to have attacked the State Transport Corporation situated in Ho, the Volta regional capital. The attack, which was carried out by armed militants of the separatist group Monday midnight, fired gunshots before proceeding to assault the driver of the bus. They are reported to have set one of the buses on fire during the attack. There's currently heavy security presence at the scene. So that's just the brief on this. Hey, Charlie. Did we get intelligence for this as well?
I would rather we are a bit cautious on how we approach this issue, because you don't want to also create the false impression and give them some form of invincibility that they are capable of doing such things, because we've seen instances where rogues will take advantage of something that is happening. So maybe someone who for some strange reasons wants to steal or wants to cause havoc just goes to burn the car, knowing very well that the area it has happened in will say that is the group that has carried out the act. And so it gives them the impression that, okay, these guys are really daring and they are doing quite well and they are going about their activities. Meanwhile, that is actually not what is happening. And so I think it's early stages. We need to try and get some additional details. So far, I don't know why we are thinking it's a separatist group, except the fact that it's happening in the Volta region. Nothing points us to that. Unlike the earlier incidents where they had the flags, they sang the songs, and they said that they are taking over, they are part of their country, like they put it. And so, I mean, I think we'll be trying to get an update from our correspondent and
but that's the
police
thing.
As well.
If this happened overnight, shouldn't in the morning, waking up to the news at least, Shouldn't the police give a quick update on the situation before people will begin to speculate and attribute it to a group because they've recently been involved in actions that have generally been termed criminal? You know, we need the police to say something to us, communicate, give us information, so that because we're waking up to this, to these pictures. And the story that we're reading is from the alleged separatist group. And
obviously, this is an information that will get to the police faster than it will get to us here.
Absolutely.
So, a two-sentence statement that says that, I mean, this has been an incident that's happened and we are investigating it. We are not ruling out any, we suspect maybe the separatist group, or we don't think they are the ones, like something brief, just on this matter. But I mean, eventually we are going to get information anyways, and
yeah, but that's the thing.
It delayed doesn't actually help.
Yeah, the thing has happened. Tell us, don't give us everything, but tell us something and assure Ghanaians that you're in charge, you're controlling the situation, you're aware of this. But we're sitting here, what? It's 7 o'clock, like a minute to 7 right now, and this happened overnight. And what we are getting is people from the area telling us what may have happened. It's not good enough. We need information. So this is the current situation, really, in who we're yet to get the official statement in terms of what happened. But the other thing, Joseph, we haven't had the group claiming responsibility even for Friday's act. We haven't had them, you know, like we would see with other groupings elsewhere. When something happened, they would say, yes, this was us.
I'm sure they haven't had time to do that. I mean, because right after the incident happened, they fled. But at least what, I mean, points us to they being responsible was the fact that the shirts that they wore and the flags that they hoisted on the cars they had seized, among other things. But yes, we've not had an official communication from the group. I'm sure they are hiding in the bushes and the forest somewhere while the state tries to find and deal with them. I mean, it's very unfortunate that these things are happening around this time, and we just hope that our security agencies get around the issue and keep the nation safe. This is an invasion of Ghana's territory, and we must condemn it completely.
Absolutely. So after sports, we will tell you what we know in terms of the latest. Hopefully, they would have drafted the statement to share with all of us, and we will bring it to you.
That Luma song, you don't forget.
Yes, oh no, I haven't forgotten.
I remember the title now. It's the Asieho song. Asieho, yeah. You know that song? No, it's a nice song. It was
and
very...
then you are trying to cover it up with Yeneo Strinkle.
No, Yeneo Strinkle is my favorite, but this one is my childhood favorite.
Your childhood, how old are you?
Oh, I'm old enough. I was a child at some point. I mean.
Echo, do you have my favorite Lumba song? Because I remember where I was. I spent Easter in Obuasi. Maybe that year when the song was dropped, had just been released, and it was massive in Obuasi. Good memories I have from that holiday.
You want to share those memories with us?
Nah, not for television consumption, but just to say good morning to everybody watching us in Obuasi. I came to love the song, and Charlie, the Obuasi people, I don't know if they still chill on Sundays. Hey, Obuasi is the place to be. Maybe things have changed, Charlie. The only town where chilling is on Sunday, the day before Monday. Okay, listen, we've got the challenge, the Daddy Lumba challenge. It's his big birthday today.
The song I'm hearing sounds more like it sounds more like my own. The song I'm hearing is okay.
This is yours.
It's yours. I think it's yours.
Or is it the same? Like are the words?
I think.
No. This is mine.
Mixing things up.
Don't know. Echo, play it, please play it. Oh, DJ Echo.
DJ Echo is confused which one to play.
He's mixing the song. How do you mix a Lumba song?
Yeah.
Echo, we can't hear you. Yeah, this is a song. Oh my God. Gee. Okay, we have to wrap up. Listen, maybe I'll share my memories. This challenge will continue later on here on our show. We have to make way for Orekwam Poffo. He brings us sports. Liverpool, they were down, but they came back as kings. And they grabbed 3 points. There's Chelsea in action with Spurs later today. May they lose? But details coming up after this.